For 53 years, Southwest Airlines never laid off a single employee. Then, in just one notice, it fired 1,750 people during the most profitable year in its entire history. And the man behind it? He wasn't the founder. He never ran Southwest. He didn't even own most of the company. All it took was 11%. Within months, Southwest abandoned the principles that had defined it for half a century. It should have been one of the biggest corporate scandals of the decade. Instead, Wall Street called it genius. Because the most unsettling part isn't what he did to Southwest, it's that he may have been right. The story starts on a cocktail napkin. In 1966, a pilot named Rollin King and a lawyer named Herb Kelleher sat in a Texas bar. On a napkin, they drew a triangle between three cities: Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. That was the whole plan for a new airline. Years later, both men admitted there never really was a napkin, but it made a great story, so they kept telling it. It had three problems to solve. Problem 1, fly cheaper than driving a car. Problem 2, make it fun. Jokes over the speakers, free peanuts. Problem 3, move fast. A 10-minute gate turnaround, one type of plane, the Boeing 737. Rivals sued to kill Southwest before it ever flew. It won and took off in 1971, then made money every single year for 47 years straight, something no airline had ever done. In 1992, a rival said Southwest stole its slogan. The boss settled it by arm wrestling their CEO on a stage. He lost and kept the slogan anyway. But the real magic was 3 promises. No fee to change your flight, sit in any seat you want, and your bag flew free. Your bag, free. For 50 years, that was the deal. On the stock market, its symbol was one word: LUV. Remember those 3 promises. By the end of this story, all 3 will be dead. But someone was about to decide that all this love was a waste of money. Southwest had it coming. In January 2019, Herb Kelleher died. He was 87. The man who built the whole company was gone, and without him, things started to break. December 2022, a winter storm hit, and Southwest's old crew scheduling software crashed. The airline canceled about 16,700 flights in 10 days. It stranded more than 2 million people at the airport at Christmas. The government hit it with a $140 million fine, the biggest of its kind ever, 30 times bigger than any before it. Southwest's stock, the price of owning a piece of the company, had barely moved in years. It made less profit per flight than Delta and United, and it was the last big airline still checking bags for free, while every other airline made billions from fees. So someone looked at it and thought, fix it. This company is soft, slow, and leaving money everywhere. Here's the hard part. He wasn't wrong. His name was Paul Singer. On June 10th, 2024, a company called Elliott made an announcement. Elliott is a hedge fund. It uses rich people's money to buy power inside other companies. It had quietly bought $1.9 billion of Southwest, about 11% of the whole airline, enough to become one of its biggest owners overnight. Elliott had one demand: fire the 2 men at the top, the CEO and the chairman. Paul Singer runs Elliott, and his fund is famous for playing rough. In 2012, over an unpaid debt, Elliott got a court to seize a real Navy ship from Argentina. That is the man who now owned a piece of the airline Herb built. In September 2024, CEO Bob Jordan stood before Southwest's owners and said, no. Free bags, he told them, made more money in loyalty than fees ever could. His exact words, bags fly free is here to stay. Then, one by one, the promises died. October 2024, Southwest gave up. It handed Elliott 6 new board seats, the small group that controls the company. 5 of them Elliott's own people, and the chairman was pushed out. The board now took orders from the fund. Open seating ended, after more than 50 years. Then, in February 2025, the layoffs. 1,750 people. Then, on March 11th, 2025, the one promise everyone thought was safe. Southwest said it would start charging for bags. United CEO, stunned, called it the slaying of a sacred cow. And on May 28th, 2025, for the first time in 54 years, a passenger paid $35 to check a suitcase. The people who loved Southwest knew exactly what they had lost. They had picked this airline for one reason: the free bag, the open seat. Now it was gone. After his first flight under the new rules, one loyal flyer wrote, "Never again. They've ruined their brand." In 2001, after the September 11th attacks, air travel collapsed. Other airlines fired thousands of workers. American did. United nearly went bankrupt. But Southwest was smaller and poorer back then, and it still did not fire a single person. It even paid profit sharing that year, and still turned a profit. That same year, a reporter asked Herb Kelleher what would disturb him most after he left the company. His exact words? Layoffs at Southwest. He died in 2019. He never saw the day it happened. Now put the 2 years side by side. In 2001, in the worst disaster in the history of flying, Southwest protected every job. In 2025, in its richest year ever, it cut 1,750 of them with a memo. For 50 years, Southwest had one simple rule: employees first, customers second, owners last. By 2025, that rule was flipped. The owners came first now. Southwest made 3 mistakes. 1. It gave away control of its own board just to keep the peace. 2. It killed the one thing its own research said made money. 3. It thought Wall Street, the big money world, loved the same things its customers did. It didn't. And now the twist. This is the part that should bother you. It worked. The stock did not crash. It soared. In January 2026, it hit its highest price in 4 years. In a single day, it jumped more than it had since 1978. Profits kept climbing. Southwest told investors their 2026 profits could quadruple. The bag fees alone were set to bring in about $1 billion a year, just for charging people to carry a suitcase. And Paul Singer, the hedge fund boss who started all this, as the stock climbed, his fund began quietly selling its shares. It walked away with a big profit, richer than when it arrived. One man's fund bought 11% of an airline and used it to change 100% of what that airline was. Wall Street calls that a success story. That is the scary part. Herb Kelleher built Southwest on one rule: employees first, customers second, owners last. The 2026 version runs that rule backwards, and it has never made more money. The planes still fly, the name is still Southwest. On the stock market, the symbol is still LUV. But the airline Herb built is gone, the one people loved. There was never a napkin, just a good story, told until it came true. Somebody just wrote a new one. This time, nobody has to love it. They only have to fly it.